Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about Sjogren's syndrome. Sjogren's is happens when the body's immune system attacks its own healthy cells that produce saliva and/or mucus and tears. So there are the two most common symptoms are dry eyes and dry mouth. So researchers believe that Sjogren's syndrome is caused by both genetic and environmental factors. Women are actually 9 times more likely to develop this autoimmune disorder compared to men, and which is why we're really excited today to be joined by Divya Dhawan. Divya is a board-certified transformational Sjogren's health coach and founder of the Sjogren Solution. So we're gonna.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to look for the notification, but seems like Instagram decided to not show me.
No, it happens all the time. I was a little worried that you would be joining using your computer because previously we had guests trying to join using computer, not the phone. But apparently Instagram Live only working on the phone.
Oh, yeah. For me it always works only on the phone, so I've never even tried the computer. But yeah, it does have a way of confusing.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Divya.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your background, like how you became like a board certified transformational Sjogren's health coach.
All right. So a little bit about my background. So I'm a wife, and I'm also a mom of two grown-up kids. I say grown-up because they're almost out of home and working in college to now. And I'm also a dog mom. So, and absolutely love my pooch. He's a 8-year-old lab. So that's about my personal life a little bit. And then I have a passion for finding natural solutions for health issues. And that really comes from, I've been thinking about it before coming on the live today. And it comes from my grandmom and from my mom. So I'll go into how it came from my grandmom. So my grandma always used to give me some natural solutions for health issues that actually used to work. And they were like very simple things to do out of your kitchen, use your spices and herbs. And they used to work really wonderfully for me. I remember I had, with my son, I had a very big issue with him being constipated in the very first few months of his life. And he was a cesarean section baby, so I'll get into more of that when we get further in the talk. But he was a cesarean section baby, and in spite of being only on my feed, he was always constipated. And doctors obviously didn't have any solution for that. And then there's this colic pains that come up because of that. So she is the only one who was able to give me a solution for that, and that is completely natural from the kitchen, and it worked like magic. So that's just a small example. That's the many other things that she helped me with. And then, it almost always worked, whatever she told me. So, like herbs like, cardamom and from the garden, you can just get your mint. All these things are so good for our health. And then it's my mom, she has been such a huge inspiration in my life because she's clinically positive for RA even now, rheumatoid arthritis. But there was a stage in her life when she was just completely on all kind of medications. And the only resort at that time, and this is I'm talking about like maybe more than like 35 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So in that time, the only resort that doctors had for her was to get her on board injections, because that was the only solution they had at that time. And at that point, she was like, no, I'm done with all this. I'm not doing any more steroids. I'm not doing any more of this. And she just completely took a 180 turn, and she went the natural medicine way. She went to Ayurveda, which is the ancient medicine system in India. And, she was at the point where her fingers started deforming, because RA has the tendency of deforming your fingers, right? And it was truly a miracle, because when she started on this medication with the Ayurvedic practitioner who is actually in India called Vaidya, she was able to get her health back, and her fingers actually started getting into the formation again that naturally are, right? So that was kind of like a huge moment for me, because that changed a lot of things in my probably subconscious mind. So that when I got Sjogren's, I was able to get through it. Um, although I have been a very scientifically minded person always, because I have a background in science and education. And that helps me understand all the scientific studies and go through all the, scientific literature as well. So I have that, and I also have a teaching background. So that helps me, kind of put things into that kind of teach everyone how to, be natural minded. And, that is kind of like my background.
Oh, wow. Incredible story. I love the
Thank
story
you.
of your grandma and your mom. And you
Mhm.
mentioned that you had experience with Sjogren's, and then that's probably, what's driven you giving everyone the education and everything. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your experience with Sjogren's? How did you handle the news when you first found out about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was first diagnosed with Sjogren's, it's about 9 years now. And I think that is not when I actually started having Sjogren's, because I did start having some symptoms before, like 3 or 4 years ago. And I used to have like dry eyes, and I used to go doctor to doctor. I couldn't find any solution for it, and they couldn't tell me anything what is going on with me. And my eyes used to get so scratchy that I used to get like cornea on my the eyeballs. Sorry, I said cornea on my eyeballs, ulcers on my cornea. Sorry, wrong words. But that ulcers used to be really painful. My entire eye used to be like bloodshot red, and I did not get any solution for years. And then, I had some infection, after which my Sjogren's was obviously triggered. And then I also had, along with all these symptoms, the dryness in the mouth and the dryness in the eyes. And I also had a lot of muscle pain, joint pains, which was just unbearable. And I completely debilitated me at that point. And it was kind of like a sweet and bitter experience, because on one side, when I found out that I have Sjogren's, I was like, okay, really, all right, now I know what I have. But then when I asked my doctor what is the solution and how will I get cured, the only answer that I got was, well, I don't have any cure for this. This is how you have to live your life. So that is kind of how I dealt with the news of having Sjogren's.
But obviously you're in remission for a long time. How did you get your Sjogren's go into remission?
Yeah, so that's again, I remembered how my mom, you know, healed herself from RA. So she's still clinically positive for RA, but she does get symptoms sometimes. I'm not saying that she's completely symptom free, but she's able to manage it all naturally. And so I think that was kind of an inspiration for me now looking back at it, because at that point I did not think about it as much. I was only in the zone of what should I do? How do I heal myself? And things like those. And so I started looking into Ayurveda. The first thing that I did was that, because I remember that my mom, healed herself. So, when I started looking into Ayurveda, I started doing the research. I found that it is closely related to gut health. So according to Ayurveda, any disease, any disorder stems from the gut. And that is why in Ayurveda, there are like seasonal detoxes that are done, so that you can detox your body on a seasonal basis, on a regular basis and seasonal basis, so that your body is, functions optimally all the time. So I started looking into that, and that made me realize that there are certain things, in fact, many things that I was doing wrong. I was holding on to the stress that I used to get, and we all get stress from our lives. And the modern life is such that we just cannot avoid stress. And so, I was not eating right. I was not taking care of my health in many ways. So I changed all of that. I changed my lifestyle, started taking care of my gut health, worked on it. And of course, mindfulness was a huge thing also, because, if you don't manage your stress, you can do everything right, but then not be able to do anything. But all of this together helped me, get into remission from Sjogren's. And thankfully, I've been there for like 9 years now.
That's amazing. We have an audience ask, how old was your mom? I guess when she diagnosed with the RA?
When she was diagnosed, she was, I think about, let's say, I don't know the exact age, but like, I'll give you an approximate. She was probably like in her early 40s. And then now she's like in her mid 70s.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So during the intro, I mentioned briefly how does the Sjogren's happens, like a little bit about it. Do you mind give us a more in-depth explanation of, what is the Sjogren's?
Yeah, sure. So Sjogren's is popularly known as dry eyes and dry mouth, but it's not just that because there is so here is what I think. Whenever our body goes into this imbalance, from the microbiome point of view, or from the stress point of view, or from any other point of view, because everything is intricately connected, it starts showing up certain symptoms. And for very few of those people who have Sjogren's, I think dry mouth and dry eyes is the only thing they have. Most of us also have digestive issues going on. We also have, like I had joint pains, muscle pains. Many people have neuropathy going on for them. Many people have fibromyalgia as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and then brain fog. And many people also get into the stage where they do get depression as well. Mental health is also compromised. Now, there are different. So I think that Sjogren's syndrome, the word syndrome means that it's a set of symptoms, but it's not addressing the root cause ever. And it can also come with so many other disorders. So I hope that explains.
Yes.
Syndrome.
So the most common ones are dry eyes and dry mouth. It could be many things.
It could be many things, yes.
So what causes the Sjogren's?
All lifestyle factors. So as you said, genes are definitely responsible for it, but as more and more studies are showing it, genes are only the gun, and what pulls the trigger is really the lifestyle. Yeah. And then everything in our lifestyle, and I get this all the time, right? So many people come to me and they're like, I had the perfect lifestyle you could have, but I still got Sjogren's. Why? So the simple answer to that is lifestyle is not just what you eat and how much you exercise. It's so much more than that, right? How are you getting quality sleep? Are you sleeping on time? Are you taking care of the circadian rhythm that you should be in? Are you also getting the nutrients from your food? Because you might be eating right, but not absorbing all the food or nutrients from your food because you have probably a compromised gut health going on for you. And then, what about the exercise? Are you overdoing it? Are you putting your body in stress? So all these things are important to understand, but very quickly I'll go down a list so that the viewers can understand what are the causes of Sjogren's. So broadly speaking, infections like EBV can cause Sjogren's and any other autoimmune. There are many other autoimmune disorders that can be associated with infections like EBV. EBV means Epstein-Barr virus, and 95% of the world population is infected with that virus, and virus never goes away. So it's always there waiting for the right moment to attack your body again. So that can trigger Sjogren's. Heavy metals can, trigger Sjogren's. So if you have an amalgam filling, you should get it removed because that can cause Sjogren's, and many other autoimmune disorders can be caused by heavy metals, and heavy metals can anyway cause wreak havoc on your body. And apart from that, it can also be foods which can with something that you may be sensitive to, which can be like the most common are gluten, soy, eggs, and dairy. So gluten is on wheat, I think, barley, corn, all of these have gluten in them. So probably avoiding them is a great idea. But, being off gluten for your whole life is only good if you have celiacs. Otherwise, you should have a variety of food in your diet. So those are a few things. And of course, SAD diet, which means the standard American diet, and which is full of processed food and devoid of all fresh foods, also causes Sjogren's syndrome, or many other disorders. It's not just that. Diabetes, hypertension, all these kind of things happen from that kind of diet. Toxic chemicals in our environment, and I know you are very passionate about toxic chemicals, so that's something that also cause a lot of an array of whole disorders and diseases that can be caused because of that. And then of course chronic stress, and also the gut health, because all this again, the gut health is compromised. So when the gut health is compromised, this again kind of feeds the cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Well, the same viewer said, I'm 30 and currently pregnant with Sjogren's. Eating healthy is really helping me not to be so exhausted. And the the numbness and tingling in my red leg is so much better. So no dairy or gluten. So
Yeah.
completely echoes what you just said. So
Yeah.
thank you for this comment.
Yeah, thank you for this comment. It's so true. We have the genes, but the genes get activated only when we have a bad lifestyle, and we can control the genes by controlling our lifestyle, and that is so important.
Right. So you pretty much just like explained my next question, because I was going to ask you, we mentioned about gut health so many times, and then you have a ton of great content in your Instagram feed about gut health. So you just mentioned pretty much all our lifestyle, everything just impact the gut health, and then gut health kind of feeds into the cycle for making things, whether it's better or worse. It's the gut is like the kind of like the primary site and trigger for this.
It is absolutely, because the gut is so important, and I did not understand that when I first read about it. When I started doing my research with Ayurveda and everything, I was like, no one talks about gut health, so how come gut health is so important? And then I started researching into it, and the more I got into it, the more interested I became, because gut health is really the core of all health. Because if you want good skin, you need good gut health. If you want to have good hormonal balance, because in most of the women, hormonal issues are so common, right? So we need good gut health for that too, because 70% of all our hormones are made in our gut, and then 70% of our immune system is also in our gut. So gut controls so much of our daily functions. It makes the serotonin for us, it makes the dopamine for us, it also makes the adrenaline for us, although it is transported to the kidneys later on. And so if you do not have good gut health, of course, hormones will be compromised, your skin health will be compromised. So just things like psoriasis, eczema, all of them happen because of bad gut health. Mental health issues nowadays, there is more and more research which shows that even mental health issues are because of bad gut health, right? So because that is inflammation that is going into the brain. And that's because the gut, if you think about it, the gut starts from the mouth, and most of us, when we think about gut, it's just we think about just the intestine, but it starts from our mouth, goes down to our anus. All of that whole system is really the gut. So the whole digestive system is the gut. Gut is kind of like the layman term these days, but it's the whole digestive system now that we are talking about when we say the gut. And it is so important to take care of that system, because everything else is linked with that. So
we have, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we have another audience asking, what do you think about completing a parasite cleanse for gut health?
I think that's a great thing to do if you have a parasite, and you should get tested for it, because there is so much information out there, and if you do not have parasites and you do it, it might cause harm to you, then more harm than good.
Exactly. So you also mentioned, like we mentioned about gluten, barley, wheat, and so these could potentially trigger Sjogren's. Is there any other food that could people should avoid to prevent triggering Sjogren's?
Well, on a very general terms, because everyone is different, and what food sensitivity that particular person has, that has to be worked on, and that has to be a personalized program that has to be worked on with them, because every person can be, someone can be sensitive to peanuts, while other can be sensitive to maybe like radish or like tomato. So it's very different, but in general, gluten, soy, dairy, and eggs are something that if you avoid, you will see some good results happening.
What about some food that people should eat?
Yes, tons and tons of green vegetables, all kinds of colors of food. I would highly recommend to go for organic foods as far as possible, because all the GMO foods are actually laced with glyphosate, which is again a chemical which kills the microbiome on the fruit.
In the gut.
On the fruit. And if it's killing all the microbiome of the fruit and the vegetables, think about what it does when it goes inside you. It is killing the microbiome inside us. Now, for all of those who don't know what the microbiome is, I'll just elaborate really quick about that. We are, as when we look into the mirror, we look at the mirror thinking that it's us, but that person in the mirror is more than you. It's the collection of microbes that we have. So 10 times the the amount of cells that we have 10 times that we have the microbes. So if we have like 10 trillion cells, there are 39 trillion microbial cells that we have, which compromises the microbiome inside of us. And then, 70% is the beneficial bacteria and 30% approximately is the pathogenic bacteria, which is kept in check with the 70% of the good bacteria. And when gut health is compromised, when all the other factors play in, what happens is that, this balance may probably go to like 50% or like 60-40%. And then that imbalance that happens will, what will happen, it will give a good environment for the pathogenic bacteria to thrive. Bacteria is the wrong word, microbes to thrive. And the good microbes to actually not thrive as well, and they are the microbes which actually help to repair the gut lining. And this gut lining is only one cell thin. So if it gets compromised, everything from your food, and our food has a lot of toxins, right? So our food has toxins too, which are body, and there's a reason why we have the mouth which digests the food and removes all the toxins from the body and takes only the nutrients. So that gut health is so important to maintain.
Yeah, we have another question. What do you think about the AIP autoimmune protocol diet for Sjogren's?
Now, the thing about diets is diet work well for some time and for some people, but it might not work for you, and that's something that you might have to want to try and see. For some people, keto really works well. For the others, it doesn't. And any diet on a long term will never work. So it has to be a short-term thing, which you try and, try to get your body into balance and then probably get into the normal diet. And you asked me the question, which I remember I did not answer, what are the foods that we should eat? The foods that we should eat include foods of all colors, because every color gives you a polyphenol, which helps the body as an antioxidant and, reduces the effects of oxidation that happen in our body on a regular basis. All kinds of fruits and vegetables are something that you should add in your food. An average human being should actually have 80 grams of raw vegetables and fruits every single day. So if not that, at least add as much as possible.
And also antioxidant also helps you detox too. So we always recommend people to have a lot of antioxidants.
They absolutely do. And they also have beneficial microbes that give the information that our body needs to actually build up the immune system and build up the gut and, all the other systems in the body.
Yeah. So now we know that Sjogren's, the most common symptom is dry mouth and dry eyes. So what are some ways to deal with dry mouth and dry eyes?
Yeah, sure. So dry eyes, it's something that really, I think people are affected by it more when they're sleeping. So having a humidifier close to you, even if you are like on a desk, and if you can have a humidifier, and if you're working from home, of course, and I know that that cannot happen when you're in the office, but having a humidifier near you that will help, keep the humidity in your eyes. And then I love applying coconut oil because it naturally balances the oils around in the glands in the eyes. And it also helps the microbiome in the eyes, because we have microbiome in the eyes also, to balance out. I also like adding lavender or essential oil, maybe just a drop of it in a spoonful of coconut oil, a drop or two, not more than that, and then apply it around the eyes, and don't let it get into the eyes because that'll make you tear up. And then wearing the eye mask at night really helps. These are some tips for the dry eyes. For dry mouth, I think I also shared it on my Instagram channel that, it's most of us are dehydrated. Most of the time we are dehydrated and we don't know that. And we only reach out for a glass of water when we are actually really thirsty. And that's the body giving you the sign that I'm already dehydrated and you haven't given me water since like, I don't know how many hours. So hydrating yourself regularly on a regular basis, making it a point that you have a glass of water with you, and no plastics, please, because plastics will leach into your body and then again wreak havoc with your endocrine system, so your hormones. And have this water always with you. You can also, make it interesting, have cucumbers or lemon, something like that into it, so that you also get some electrolytes. electrolytes, when you lack electrolytes, that can also cause, health issues, like
Right.
dryness, especially when that will make you dehydrated basically when you are lacking electrolytes in water. So getting hydrated is the biggest tip. And then I think acid reflux is the second thing. Acid reflux, when it happens, it causes damage to the oral microbiome, and that is exacerbated by the use of proton pump inhibitors like Nexium, because that is further damaging the gut lining, the stomach acidity. And acidity is almost always acid reflux, or acidity, both are interchangeable terms, is almost always a lack of acid in the stomach rather than more acid in the stomach. So having things like lemon water will help with increasing the acidity, or apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is really good for improving the acidity of the stomach. And there are some other natural solutions as well. I love using essential oils. So the essential oil blend from doTERRA called Digest Zen, I absolutely love it for improving, to calm down the acid reflux is really good. So natural, I'm all for all natural relief as far as possible. Sometimes medicine is needed. I'm not 100% against it, but there's a time and place for that. So these are some tips for dry eyes and dry mouth, and I hope that's helpful for the viewers.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So you mentioned about eating at least like 80 grams of veggies and colorful veggie. We have one audience asking how many cups is 80 gram.
Yeah, that's I have grown up in uh, I haven't grown up in the imperial system, so I cannot convert it, but 80 grams is like roughly maybe 2 or 3 cups.
I think
But
that's
that's
also
a rough
depending
estimate. That's a
on
rough.
what kind of like veggie you're talking about, right? Like spinach will fill up your veggie very quickly, your cup very quickly
Right.
versus like celery, which
That's why
then
I
it's
think
gonna
grams
fill
is a
up a lot more.
better option, to look at it too. Yeah.
Right. Also echoing, what you said, one is EBV, Epstein-Barr virus. We actually had an Instagram live just last week on EBV, so I encourage everyone to check it out. And we also had a Instagram live on acid reflux. So that was also very informative. I learned so many new things that I had no idea of, exactly as what you mentioned. So it was very,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Encourage
I'm
everyone
going
to
to
check
watch
it out.
them.
Hey,
I'm going to watch them too.
yeah, and then I know you provide consultation too, because this personalized approach is really, really important for people to figure out, what kind of food would trigger them, and then how do they manage their own symptom. So what is the consultation with you look like?
Well, so the consultation starts with a complimentary health strategy session with me. And before getting that appointment, there's a form that everyone needs to fill out so that I get a better idea of where they are at in terms of their health. Because, if, uh, I need to decide whether I can help them or not. I just cannot just commit for that. So that's something that I look for. And then also, it's completely, the health study session is completely about them and, understanding where they are at, where the health is at, whether I can help them or not, and whether it's a good fit or not. So that's completely very important, because only people who are highly, highly committed towards their health and their healing can actually work through the program as well. And that's statistically, I've seen that that's how it works. So I'm here to support them and help them get to where they want to in terms of their health, and that is why it's very important to see the commitment in the people who work with me. So the
Yeah,
consultation with me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say this is also a long-term commitment too, to manage Sjogren's, because there's no cure, so it's like you have to manage it throughout your life course, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a lot of lifestyle, and lifestyle doesn't mean that you do it for like 5 months and then, get off it. Lifestyle means you have to do it for your whole life. So I can give you the tools, but you have to follow them.
Absolutely. So you also have a gut health course coming out soon. So tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so excited about this course because gut health is really the core of all health. Like if you want to get free from diabetes. Gut health is your place to go. If you want to, get better from any other autoimmune disorder, that's the place to go. Gut health is associated with almost everything that we want to, explore in terms of health. And so I'm super excited about this course. And this is coming up in the next week to 10 days. We had a waiting list going on for some time, and I've been working, at the back end on the program, giving some finishing touches now, and it'll be live in 10 days. And it is all about, like, as the name says, gut health. So it is all about repairing and rejuvenating the gut so that the overall health can be improved. So there will be, after doing the course, those who enroll in the course will see at least 90% improvement in their gut health and overall health, because we work step by step with them to improve the health of the gut, remove the triggers, add the good things, and do all those things that are required to improve the gut health.
Wonderful, wonderful. We can't wait. And then I want to address Ananda's comment that in the beginning of this Instagram Live, we actually talked about Divya's experience and how she became a transformational coach for Sjogren. So check it out, where you can reverse it back to listen in the beginning. But thank you so much for joining us today and then giving us such great information. And also thank you everyone for joining. And then I want to encourage everyone to be sure to follow Divya at Divya_Dhawan_Sjogren's_solution. So we'll have all the information.
Coach.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Coach. Okay, sorry.
Yes,
sorry.
it's Sjogren. No, it's okay. It's Divya_Dhawan_Sjogren_coach.
Cool. And then we'll make sure everything is in the LinkedIn bio, and then you can, book a consultation, like enroll in the upcoming gut health course, and then enjoy.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure talking with you today.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Listen, bye.